everybody. So today we are going to be making Jamaican cocoa bread. You know, everybody loves a good cocoa bread that they would have with patties. Unfortunately today though I have no patties, but I'm still gonna make cocoa bread. You never know what I'll be able to put this with. I have my ingredients on hand. So in this bowl here I have about 3.5 cups of flour. I have here some coconut milk that has been combined with sugar, salt, and some butter. And pretty much what I did was to put this in the microwave and just melt it down a little bit. And then I also have yeast added to this, so that, you know, if you notice, you see that bubbly stuff going on, that's yeast at work. So I'll have that. And I also have here some melted butter, as well as some eggs that have been lightly beaten. All right, so we're gonna go right ahead and jump into this. So first step is to add the coconut milk and yeast, etc. I have to say it that way, etc. ingredients to the mixing bowl, and of course we're gonna mix that around, get everything nicely incorporated. I'm going to pour the egg mixture into my flour now. And of course, I'm going to mix this all the way around. Get everything well together. You guys know I don't like the baking thing. It takes so much precision, but I still like to experiment with the idea nonetheless. Maybe one day I'll love it. You know, who would have thought that when I started making ice cream I would have loved it? No, ice cream is like my next favorite thing to do. Like every other day I'm making a batch. Stay tuned, I might very well just start selling, right? Wisdom was with me the other day and I gave her a taste of my pistachio ice cream, and trust me, she said sell off. All right, so maybe one day I'll just get to the point where I love the baking thing, hopefully. All right, so we've turned the dough out on our board, and if you notice that this is soft, that is exactly what is needed, because the softer this dough is the more tender the cocoa bread will be. All right, so I'm not going to really say over knead this. I would have been doing this for about 3 minutes, and it's supposed to be needed for about 3 to 4 minutes. So just turning it in, as you can see, you know, massage it a little bit. I don't even know if this is all you need flour, to be honest. Tell you so I don't like the baking thing, but I'll get there, guys. Not that I can't bake, you know, but it just takes too much work. So the next step now, once this is done, is to oil it and put it back in our mixing bowl and cover it a little bit and allow it to rise. So here we have it. Here in the mixing bowl, we're gonna cover this now with a piece of cloth and have it rest here for anywhere between 1 to 2 hours, and then I'm gonna check right back in. All right, so it's been 2 hours. Look at the dough, it has risen, and I'm going to be removing this now from the mixing bowl, and I'm gonna be putting it back on our floured baking surface here. What is this? A cutting board. Jeez, I'm tired, guys, you can tell, right? So I'm gonna be hitting this dough, just like punching it right in the center, after which I'm going to be transferring it to this board, and then I'm gonna be cutting it into about 10 equal pieces, and I'm gonna roll each dough into a ball. So in case you're angry, boom, face, bam, look at that. And now I'm gonna be taking it out and putting it on the surface. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this on my knee. That's one. Not sure, this is not gonna be 10 pieces, but I guess I'll just go with 5 first, and then I'll decide if I'll split each of these, because they're gonna get big. So I'm just gonna cut this in 5 first, and then do each piece in probably 2 to get the 10 pieces. All right, so Each of these pieces, I have about 10 pieces here, and they're in a ball. And of course, I'm going to have to roll out each piece now. Roll it out with a rolling pin in order to create the actual cocoa bread. See why I can't be bothered with baking? It's a long process, but the end product is always good. Alright, so I'm gonna stick with it. Alright, so I'm ready to go now. Oh, I always have to remember this even before hitting the dough. It's important that you get a little bit of flour going on your rolling pin, because of course you don't want for it to stick either. So let's get a little bit of flour. Alright, so time to roll this out. Don't mind it. Don't want to roll it out too thin. Amateur over here. Amateur over here. Remember that I is not a professional baker. I'm the amateur over here. But you also don't want to over roll this, because you know, it would have been there for a while. So you just want to flatten it a little bit and get it going. All right, this is as flat as I'm gonna get it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and fold this and then pare off the sides for it to actually shape like a cocoa bread. In some other parts of the world, they just call it fold over bread, because there's really no shape per se. It's just a flat bread, so they just fold it over and butter it, and that's it. So I'm gonna roll it over now. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead now, since this has been rolled. You can't overdo this, as I had explained. And I'm just gonna do it like this. Right, just use my hand and kind of push it a little bit. You know, to be honest, I didn't even have to use a pizza cutter to mark this out. It could have just be this. But if you want to be also neat, also whatever the case may be, full of shape and full of style, no, that can't be it. You can come around like this, right, and peel off the excess. Cut away from here, peel off the excess there. So it kind of take a little shape here, so, and then from this side. So I wasn't good at math, so all them shapeified stuff ain't gonna work for me. But this here, you can add it. This is not scraps. You can just add it back to another part of the dough. All right, so this looks like the first one, and I'm going to go ahead and butter this. So I have some melted butter here. I'm just gonna be putting it, you know, over the top. This is what makes a good cocoa bread. It's nice and buttery. And of course, I'm going to be putting this on my baking tray, and I'm going to be putting the buttered side down first so that I can butter the top before popping it into the oven. So here I have my baking tray. Kitchen is a mess. The wind is so high. So the first one is in. Don't mind the shape. As I said, it's just a cocoa bread. We're not tasties over here, although I have tasties here. Wisdom, I know you got that one. But the point is, even though we're not tasties patty here, it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me what the shape is gonna be like. It's just gonna go down. And as long as it can open and I put something in the center, I'm good to go. So remember that when it comes to the whole shape and all of that, I'm not the boss of that, because I didn't pay much attention in math class to know about construction, geometry, or whatever you want to call it. So I can't construct them bread according to the right shape. But this side, this shape here, where you just see it looks like a fold over. In some places in the Caribbean, this is how they make cocoa bread, just as a flat bread, as they would call it. Whereas in Jamaica, we try to get it looking more like this. All right. So this is buttery. This is nice. This is the first 6. I have 4 more pieces to go, which I'm going to be putting in another baking tin. But I won't bore you with all that process. I'll just go ahead, pop this in the oven, and wait for the finished product. After 22 minutes in the oven, this is the finished product. As I said, some of them have potential cocoa bread shape, like this one. Except this piece kind of get pinched off in the oven. This one kind of lopsided too. But guys, guess what? You get the picture. So these are nice and warm. And as I said, I am just going to serve up some mozzarella cheese in the center of one of these. And I'm going to taste it. And I'm going to tell you how it is. But not telling a lie. I'm proud of myself. Them not perfect, but them perfect. You know what I'm saying? Perfect to the imperfect. Love it. This is good consistency actually, because look at this. The inside is nice and moist and soft, and the outside has that crispy, firm goodness that you would find in cocoa bread. I've done real good. So I'm gonna just pop some cheese in the center of this. Of course, you know it's going to melt real nicely. My vocabulary must be limited. Everything I say real nicely. But yes, it's going to melt because the bread is still warm. And voila, you know, you could make a sandwich, you could add some lettuce, you could do whatever it is that you want to do. Oops, add all of that. So this is goodness here. So this is me plating it up.